Hey y'all, this is Erutor. Welcome back to Learning to Eve. Today we're going to take a look at my first solo kill and some of the lessons I learned from that process. I hope you enjoy it and look forward to your comments and suggestions for how I can do better next time. So I just found this Stratios slow boating over to the next spot. I'm going to warp to get within 30 of him or so and see if I can set him up. There's a good chance that he really did see my probes and this is a big trap. But the chance to take on a Stratios and maybe die is totally worth it. Alright, so I warp over here to his obvious target. He's still slow boating along. I'm going to see if I can get in closer. So I did a few things better this time than last time. I found this Astero the other day, and I love those ships. They're beautiful, and it's hard to pass up a chance of blowing up. So I found this guy, he's hacking it. You can see the little visual effect there. So I went ahead and warped in on him at about 10, or I thought it would be about 10, forgetting that the warp in distance is to the edge of the sphere and not to the center. So I actually landed at 14. Unfortunately, I decloaked while I was in warp. So he saw me there. I went ahead and tried to lock him up, paint him up, and hit him a few times. He decided to just hit the road and go. He was still outside the range of my warp scrambler, so I really didn't have any chance to hit him. Now what that Astero should have done is what Baron von Schniffel did. I came on him hacking a site, he popped the can and looted it, so I waited for him to come back from his perch. He was pretty bright and warping off and coming back just to hack the can and not slow boating. So I did finally catch him here on the site and warped in on him, decloaked, locked him up, and just thought I'd see what would happen. I really figured I'd probably get myself blown up, and guess what? I was right. I'm not sure what happened here, though. I did fail to lock him, and then he came right back. So my only guess here would be maybe if you warp off and then cancel warp, you'll start moving, and then you will come back. Anyway, I went ahead and took a few shots at him, and of course, as soon as his drones got out, it was game over for this little buzzard. I did get the capsule out, of course, and had a really nice chat with Baron von Schniffel afterwards. And at the end of the video, I'll share with you some of the tips that he shared with me. Some really good information there that I think will be helpful to other explorers who might run into an Astero.
Warp drive active.
Of course, most of the time when you're hunting explorers, it goes something like this. Here's a Creamer Gene wormhole. Really? Creamer Gene in Queef Stink? Anyway, hacking a site. So wait for them to get that hacked in progress. Warp in close and approach until within range of scramblers or disruptors. One of the things Creamer Gene mentioned to me when we chatted afterwards was, why didn't I see you in local? So yes, wormholes do have delayed local. Definitely something to know before you get into wormhole, or you're pretty much gonna die. So anyway, usually lock them up, and even with super bad lag, just a few shots, even with a single rocket launcher that I forgot to overheat, it only takes a few shots to take out the typical exploration vessel, and that was the case here. Despite the really bad name, Creamer Gene seems really nice, and I did send a little donation to make up the cost of that ship. I've also suggested maybe skipping the Sister's launcher. The probes are totally worth it, but I'm not so sure with the launcher in most cases for a low ISK ship. So, Creamer Gene, watch that D-scan, and see you around. So anyway, back at the Stratios. I did sneak up onto Mari Bama and got her locked up pretty well. Managed to get her locked and painted. I was not really careful about range here. She could have very easily prop modded out of here. Another mistake I made is I did not overheat my launcher. And in a second here you'll see that I actually let her drift out of my scram range. Could have very easily escaped me. The thing that helped me here was Umari was neither orbiting nor pre-aligned, and then tried to warp off to a site that got her good and stuck on that data site. I know I found that for data sites, I do the best if I go ahead and either orbit those things or approach and pre-align to one of my exit points. Neither one of those were helpful for Humari Boma, so this was my first solo kill. It was pretty freaking exciting. So I did make a few mistakes, but I was very excited. Managed to get Humari Boma's pod locked up. Didn't manage to hit that scram button. I was relying on my keyboard and didn't pay attention to the fact that that is my bad key on that computer. And so go fly free, poor flightless bird.
Warp drive active.
Another mistake I made, and a tip I'll pass along, is since I thought I might want to hang out here and camp this site a little bit, it would have been a great idea for me to have blown up that wreck, especially since I couldn't salvage it. But I forgot, so that was alright. All in all, it's a very exciting first kill, and Humari Boma, thank you for being my first solo kill. You were really cool about it when we had a little chat afterwards. One thing I did notice is just those Praetor 1s were in the drone bay. Boy, a couple of light drones would have really torn me up. So I'm glad they weren't there. I'm really eager to try to learn how to play Eve better. So I've been trying to get people to talk to me and share their experiences and tell me what I did wrong or just give me some feedback. And I found that the people who get blown up are a little less likely to talk than those who blew you up. So sometimes it's worth taking a loss to meet somebody and to have a good conversation. Baron von Stiffels was one of those people. He sent me an email shortly after our little interaction saying, "Hey, I don't mean to pick on you, but basically you do know that Ersteros eat frigates, right?" So I let him know, yeah, I did know that. And I was just kind of curious to see what would happen, and was expecting to lose the ship, but I wanted to see how it would go. So we had a nice little chat, and he shared a few things that I thought were really helpful, and I wanted to pass those on. One of the things he mentioned was he really likes to hack his cans in a semi-random order. Most of the time, hunters are going to sit there and wait for the last can. Something I would add to that is maybe it's worth leaving that last bit of rubble or that stupid comm tower that you know is going to have nothing but carbon in it anyway, just to avoid the chance somebody's waiting to blow you up after you open that last can. Something else that Baron von Schniffel mentioned that I thought was really great, and actually I heard it again today as I was listening to the Learning Cliff podcast, going back in time, listening to that. He carries a mobile depot, but in that he has a remote armor repair that he used to repair his drones. It had never occurred to me that you use a remote armor rep on drones. It's pretty obvious, like most genius ideas. Once you know about it, it's like, well, duh, of course. But now I know. So other things that I kind of share with the people that I encountered. Yes, wormholes do have delayed local. You know what? Sometimes you're going to get an awesome kill if you're willing to die trying, especially if the target panics a little bit. So don't panic, and hope somebody else does, and fly something you're willing to lose. All right, y'all. Thanks a lot. Watch your range. Always be caliente. Always overheat. Yes, Virginia, Asteros eat frigates. You know what? There are more nice people in New Eden than there are space turds. We give a shout out to Chance Ravine, who really inspired my Nemesis kill. Again, also to Humara Bomi, and especially to Baron von Schniffels. Thanks for being cool and for the chat. And Kramer Jean, you and your ship names are a little bit, yeah, but you were pretty cool too, so fly safe.